As you know, I do a lot of blind buying. Most of the fragrances that I purchase are blind buys. And I've been pretty successful, I think, at blind buying. But sometimes, no matter how much you research the fragrance and the notes and look at the reviews, it just doesn't work out. So today, I'm going to share with you blind buys that didn't work out for me, that were fails. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching this video and for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely hit that red button. So as I said at the beginning, today we're going to talk about fails. In particular, failed blind buys. Unfortunately, when you blind buy, you always take a risk, and I know it very well going into it, and I'm okay with that. Most of the time, I think I've been pretty lucky and pretty good at choosing my blind buys, but there have definitely been some misses. And so I'm gonna share those misses with you today. Let's start with the fragrances that I mentioned already, either in one of my last hauls or in my declutter video. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on these, and I don't have them in my collection anymore. So I'm gonna be putting up pictures, but if you've seen my videos, you probably heard about these. The first one is L'Artisan Perfumer, I can't pronounce it properly, Batucada, which was supposed to be a beachy kind of scent, which to me smelled like pickles, and of course, it was decluttered. It left my collection. Second one is Narciso Rodriguez Rouge, which was my first try from this house, and unfortunately it failed as well. As I mentioned in the video where I talked about it, to me it smelled like cheap old bar of soap. I really disliked it, and so that left my collection very quickly. In fact, I'll tell you, it is very popular scent. So many people love it, and I was able to sell it so quickly. I mean, people just love the scent. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me. And the third one that I mentioned already is Van Cleef and Arpels Santal Blanc. This is the one in the white bottle, and again, to me, it smelled like sort of a milk that's gone bad. Not a pleasant smell. I couldn't even do a wear test on my skin. I really disliked the scent so much on the blotter that, again, that fragrance left very quickly. So I'm going through these really quickly because I mentioned them before. You know about them already. The other one that I don't have anymore, and I've mentioned it in my overhyped fragrances video, is Lalique Amethyst. And this wasn't a total fail, but it also wasn't a love, and that's why that fragrance left my collection. I think most of you are familiar with it. Again, it's a fragrance that's quite popular, and so many of you love it. It has a lot of berries, blackberries, red berries. It has rose, peony, musk, woody notes, vanilla, and you definitely get the berries with musk. That's what came through to me most prominently when I tried it, but to me it smelled very chemical and kind of very sharp, especially at the beginning, and that's what I didn't like about it. It wasn't terrible, but like I said, it wasn't a love, and I have so many fragrances that I don't want to keep things that I'm not loving, and for that reason I'm considering it as a fail, even though it wasn't a total fail. The other one that also wasn't a total fail, but also wasn't a love, and I don't have it anymore, was Givenchy Dahlia Divine, and I had the EDT version. So this fragrance has blood orange, peach, blackcurrant, jasmine, rose, sandalwood, vanilla, musk, and patchouli. And I can't say that I was able to distinguish any of the notes listed individually, but it kind of had a very powdery smell to me. It was too powdery, like too makeup-y, like an old makeup product. And again, it wasn't terrible. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. And it stayed in my collection for quite some time. I kept thinking, no, but this is pretty nice. and yet I would never reach for it. So again, this was decluttered. It wasn't a total fail, but kind of a fail because I didn't wear it. I think after purchasing it, maybe I've worn it 2 times and not anymore. One more I'm gonna mention that I don't have any, don't have a bottle anymore, is from Histoires de Parfum, and it was 1969. And as you know, I have 1804 from Histoires de Parfum, which is a pineapple type of scent, which I really, really love. And it's after trying that scent that I wanted to try something else from this house. And I've looked at many different fragrances, and this was the one that I thought would work best for me based on the notes. And the notes in here are peach, rose, white flowers, musk, patchouli, chocolate, coffee, and cardamom. And unfortunately, I really didn't like it. I didn't even wear it at all again. This left my collection right away. What I smelled the most was peach, very, very strong peach with a little bit of chocolate and definitely a lot of spices. And what I figured out after testing this fragrance is that I'm not a huge fan of very strong peach. When peach is blended with other things, I don't mind it at all. But when peach is very, very strong, I really didn't like it. The other thing, it almost had a slight masculine edge in my opinion. And I really, even though there was chocolate and there is what, vanilla listed in here. Is there a vanilla? No, there's no vanilla. I'm making it up. But chocolate, you would kind of expect a little bit of sweetness to come from chocolate, but it must have been really dark kind of chocolate. So there was really no sweetness in it, and very, very strong peach with spices, and that was a no for me, and so that left. Now I'm going to talk to you about fragrances that I still have, although most of these have been spoken for and just people who got them didn't pick them up yet, but I'll be able to show them to you. And the first one I have is from Montale. And if you've seen my Montale video, you know that I purchased 20 ml set of 3 bottles from their website to try and review. And in that video, I mentioned that one of them I didn't really love, but I was gonna test further, and I did, and I still didn't love it. And the one I'm talking about, let me take it out, is Candy Rose. So the notes in here are blackcurrant, raspberry, lychee, blood orange, mandarin orange, rose, patchouli, jasmine, lily of the valley, musk, vanilla, and orange blossom. And when I read the reviews and based on the notes, I was expecting a sweet, jammy rose. And it's none of that, at least on me. On me, this is a very soapy type of rose. And I'm not a huge fan of soapy scents. And I didn't love this one. And I tried wearing it on the skin and it still had the same soapy effect. And so for that reason, I'm considering it a failed blind buy, and it found a better home, and it is leaving my collection. Second one that I haven't shown to you either, and because I consider it a failed blind buy, and it is leaving as well. And this is from a house that I've tried something from and I really enjoyed. And that's the reason I purchased this one, is because I wanted to explore this house more. But unfortunately, again, this wasn't a total fail, but it also didn't work for me. This is from Micallef, and this is called Studio MP2. That's an interesting kind of packaging. So take this out. Here's the bottle. And this on top actually comes out, and this is like a lip gloss. Kind of strange, I have to admit. And overall, I will be honest with you, when I took it out and I looked at it, what really disappointed me initially was the packaging. I find this cheap. This is very cheaply made in my opinion. You have these mirrors in here. They look cheap. This whole lip gloss that doesn't stay in here. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the packaging, I'll be honest with you. And as you know, I really enjoy nice packaging, and especially when you're purchasing a niche perfume. And I will admit this wasn't an expensive purchase, but still, when you're purchasing a niche perfume, you expect better type of packaging, and this really didn't impress me. And I think it kind of, me not loving it started with the way it's made. Now, the scent. Let's look at the scent. So let me tell you about the notes first quickly. It has peach, melon, plum, lily of the valley, rose, violet, patchouli, musk, caramel, and vanilla. So again, you have peach here. Although peach is not as prominent or as strong in Histoire de Parfum that I mentioned earlier, but you definitely still get peach. You get some other fruity floral notes. It also has, there's listed caramel and vanilla, but I would not call this sweet. I would not call it a gourmand at all. This is a slightly sweet, fruity floral, very lightly sweet, fruity floral. To me, again, it has a slight soapy vibe, and there's a little bit of patchouli definitely coming through. But overall, kind of soapy, fruity, floral. It's okay. It's nothing special. I don't think it's going to be anything that I'm going to reach for. And again, given my sort of disappointment, let's see, I'm picking up a cap and this lip gloss is falling out. Given my disappointment with the packaging, I'm considering this a fail. Not something I want to keep in my collection, not something that I think I'm going to reach for. And that's why it is leaving. And like I said, I'm considering it a fail. Next one is, and I have just a little sprayer. I think this is 7.5 or 10 ml sprayer. This is from Eldo. I can't pronounce the full name. Etat Libre d'Orange, something like that. And this is You or Someone Like You. And the notes in here are mint, anise, bergamot, grapefruit, green notes, rose, musk, cassis, and hedione. And I don't even remember why I purchased this fragrance. I think I was purchasing from somewhere, and to get free shipping, I needed to add something else in. And this was like very inexpensive. And I thought, okay, that's going to give me an opportunity to test out this house. And that's why I bought it, I think. And this is a really weird one. There is mint, anise, citruses, yes. But I'm getting really herbal medicinal vibe with this. Slightly oily kind of vibe. This is not my kind of thing. Very herbal, very medicinal, very green. And yeah, I really don't like this one. So this was definitely a fail. This is not my cup of tea at all. So saying goodbye to this one. Now, the last two were biggest disappointments. And these are fragrances that are loved by many. And if you do love them, that's wonderful. Don't get upset with me that I don't, but I really wanted to love them. And I thought that I would, but unfortunately, these were fails for me. The first one I'm going to show you is from, again, Les Artisans Parfumeurs. This is Saffron Troublant, something like that. And I really was hoping to love this one. Unfortunately, it didn't work for me. Let me tell you quickly about the notes, and then I'll tell you about my impressions. And this is still in an old packaging. I think they've changed the packaging since then. And I was so happy when I received this one because I didn't know if it was going to be old packaging or new, and I really prefer the old one. And so I was really thrilled with that. Unfortunately, the scent didn't work out. So the notes in here are passion flowers, sandalwood, rose, vanilla, saffron, sugar, and ginger. And again, when fragrances come in, you know, I make my whole family smell them. And when my daughter smelled this, she said, this smells familiar. And then she thought about it and she said, yeah, this smells like sausage. We all laughed. It doesn't smell like sausage to me, but you know, it's an interesting impression. It doesn't smell like sausage, but I really, really dislike the scent. And again, I don't know what it is. Is it, I mean, I've liked fragrances that had saffron in it. Maybe it wasn't as strong. Maybe it's combination with sugar, ginger. I have no idea. I don't know what it is, but this is almost on the level of repulsive to me. I really don't like it. I don't know what it is that I don't like it. I'm not sure what it is that I'm associating it with. Again, it almost has medicinal vibe to me. Like I am sitting in some kind of laboratory and getting ready to do a blood test. Something like that. I really, really don't like it. I can't smell it. I can't wear it. It is a huge fail for me, unfortunately. And the last one is probably even bigger disappointment because it's from a house that I absolutely love, and I really thought I was gonna love this fragrance, but unfortunately it's a no. Now the house I'm talking about is Tiziana Terenzi, and the fragrance is called Foconero. Has a very interesting name, and again, I have a little story for you. When this first arrived, again, you know, my daughter is very curious about my fragrances. She also always wants to smell. She asked me, you know, what the name is, what the brand is, and you'll be surprised how much this 6-year-old knows about fragrances. It's amazing. And when I told her the name, she said, Mom, but it has a bad word in it. Why did they name it that? And again, we thought she was very funny. So I had to explain to her, look, this is not an English name. This is an Italian name. So it's not a bad word. It just sounds like it, but it's okay to say it. And I tried to find out what this means. And I don't know if any of you have any idea, please let me know. It's kind of really stuck in there. So I'm just going to leave it in there. So again, this is from Tiziana Terenzi, and I've been kind of on this salty kick lately. I'm really enjoying fragrances that have salt in them, and I know that this is one of those types of fragrances, and that's why I purchased it. So the notes in here are lemon, bergamot, lime, lavender, juniper, thyme, sea salt, lily of the valley, ylang-ylang, cardamom, ozonic notes, hyacinth, sandalwood, cedar, patchouli, oak moss. A ton of notes. And initially when I spray it, I don't love it. I get a little bit of salt, but I was hoping for salt to come through more prominently, and it's not very strong to me. I'm definitely getting some of these more herbal elements like thyme and maybe some woody elements like juniper and oak moss and cedar. And then with time, those elements become even more prominent, and it also becomes quite soapy on my skin. Very soapy and almost shampoo-y, and again, very masculine smelling. I actually tried wearing it on my skin, and I kind of had to scrub it off after a while because I really thought, no, I'm really hating the way I smell today. I have to get this off. So this unfortunately didn't work for me, and so it has to leave my collection. It didn't find a new home yet, but I hope it will. I know that some of you really love it, and I was really hoping that I would as well, but unfortunately for me, this one didn't work. So there you go. That's the last one on my list. Please let me know. I know that many of you do blind buying just like I do. What were your failed blind buys? I would love to know what didn't work out for you. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you soon in another video. Bye.